Fox Sports.
We are Blackboard. We are Sports Zone.
Last night, the Braves downed the Dodgers behind outstanding outfield play, both at the plate. Marquez drives one to center. Look at that ball carry. She's gone. Nick Marquez has hit his first home run of the year. Why not? Hit it to the deepest part of the ballpark. Yeah. And in the field. Throw to the plate. He's going to get his man. What a throw. Game 2 starts now as Alex Wood toes the slab against the Dodgers' explosive offense. On a warm, muggy night in Atlanta, once again it's time for Braves baseball. The Braves bats broke out in a big way, scoring 7 runs last night. Hopefully more offensive output is to follow in Game 2 tonight as the Braves and Dodgers meet in the middle game of our 3-game series. A lot of fun last night. Braves knocked off L.A. 7-5. Tonight, Joe, a battle of left-handers. Anderson for the Dodgers, Wood for the Braves. Let's see if Atlanta can make it 2 in a row here at home.
Well, if they do, it'll be tough because Brett Anderson's on a roll. His last 6 ball games, he's gone 3-1 with a sub-3 ERA. There are the numbers, only 10 walks against 30 strikeouts. And the thing about this guy is that he leads the major leagues in ground ball outs. Almost 7 out of every 10 outs is a ground ball out. So look for him to keep the ball down. Using that breaking ball that you're seeing there, that back foot breaking ball to right-handers, he's been very effective lately.
Yeah, and on the other side of the coin, Alex Wood, been a little bit of a struggle for him. You see his last 8 starts, 2-4 with a 4.57. Now that ERA is a little bit inflated because of his last outing in Colorado, and that happens to pretty much everybody out there. I think for Alex, the thing he needs to do this second half of the year is find some consistency. His wins have been really good. His losses have been not so good. Find a way to be more consistent deep in the ball game, and also find a way to win some of those games ugly, and I think things will turn around pretty quickly.
Yeah, there's no such thing as an ugly win. Hopefully Atlanta can pick up win number 2 here at home against the Dodgers on a hot night for baseball here in Atlanta.
Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day.
Game 2 between the Braves and the Dodgers on the way from Turner Field. Let's see if the Braves can make it 2 in a row after winning the series opener last night. Hey everybody, I'm Jen Hildreth, and let's hope some of that offense that the Braves brought last night carries over through to tonight. Jace Peterson was a big part of that. I had talked to him before the game. He'd been struggling a little bit, and he said, you know what, I just need to stick to my plan, keep working hard. I know I'll break out of this. Well, he got off to a good start doing that last night as he drove in a couple of runs in the 4th inning with the bases loaded. And you know what? That's what this guy needs. He needs runners on base, and not just base, but every base. In that situation, Jace has been among the best in baseball. His first career home run, a grand slam. He has a walk-off, and that brings us to our Zaxby's indescribably good play. Jace Peterson with them loaded. Look at those numbers. 643, 5 extra base hits, and his 22 RBI with the bases loaded leads the major. So I asked Jace, what is it about the bases loaded that brings out his best?
When bases loaded, I'm just trying to get the job done. When there's guys out there, I want to try to do the best I can to get at least one in and just try to put a good swing on the ball. Unfortunately, this year it's been working out, so hopefully we can keep it going.
See if the Braves can get him some more runners out there to bring in. Freddie Gonzalez credited his football mentality. Hey, Alex Wood's a Georgia Bulldog. He knows all about football mentality. He'll be taking the mound soon. Chip, Joe, and Tom with a call.
Mazda dealers. Driving matters.
A hot, breezy night in Atlanta. Wind blowing straight in here at Turner Field for Game 2 of our Braves-Dodgers series. Let's get right to the Dodgers starting nine as presented by their skipper, Don Mattingly. Jock Peterson leads off their Academy's sports and outdoor starting nine with Adrian Gonzalez, the cleanup man. He had a big night last night. Scott Van Slyke on against the left-hander, Alex Wood, who, Tom, could use some better luck here at home.
Yeah, he could for sure. You see in 4 career games versus the Dodgers, 1-0 with a 1.08 ERA. So that certainly is good news, but a little bit surprised by his work here at home this year. 1-3 with a 5.18 ERA and 6 starts. So let's look for that to turn around.
His 4 keys tonight. He got behind the gun in Colorado, gave up 3 runs in the 2nd inning, fell behind. The team could never catch up. Tonight, think about 9 quick outs. You know, first things first, get the first guy, but get 9 quick outs, get through the 3rd inning, give your offense a chance to get unsettled. And odd opening. This was odd to me when I was looking through the Dodgers averages against left-handed pitching tonight. Their 3-hole hitter, Justin Turner, who went 4 for 4 last night and has been red hot, He's at just $1.54 against lefties, so there's an odd spot perhaps to go if you need an out.
So let's see what Alex Wood has in store for us with Jock Peterson, the young Dodger outfielder with 20 homers, 40 RBIs. He was 1 for 5 with a run scored in Game 1 last night. You hit the ball high tonight, it's going to be tough to get out of the ballpark. The wind howling straight in, plenty of cloud cover overhead, and Wood pumps over a quick strike. 85 degrees and very humid here in Atlanta today. Lavarnway trying to frame that, didn't get the call. 1 ball, 1 strike. For all of Jock Peterson's good work at the plate for the Dodgers this year, he has struggled at times against lefties. And those struggles ought to continue if someone can catch this pop up, and Lavarnway will with a basket catch. There's out number 1. Like the Dodgers, the Braves have a different look with their lineup tonight. More right-handed hitters in there for Freddie Gonzalez. Here's how he lines them up defensively, presented by CPI Security. Gomes in left, Chris Johnson at first, Lavarnway is behind the plate. Standard defensive lineup in the other positions tonight. So there's the first out. Here's Howie Kendrick, the Dodgers second baseman. He had a 2-run double in the 5th last night. First runs the Dodgers scored against Matt Whistler, who gave up 4 runs but picked up his 4th win in 5 decisions for the Braves. And that's outside to Kendrick. 2 balls, no strikes. Didn't get the fastball. Now 2-1. Alex Wood has, as Tom said, pitched very well against the Dodgers in his young career. And a good play by Peterson erases Kendrick for the second out.
Alex had a good first inning in Colorado. He struck out 2 of the 3 guys he faced. It was just that things went sideways in the second inning when they put those 3 runs on the board. So hopefully this is a good sign for him of things to come, these first 2 outs.
And here's the test Joe was talking about. As hot as Justin Turner has been against the Braves, he struggled mightily against left-handed pitching, and he's hitting 3rd tonight. And a quick strike.
Yeah, he's 9 for his last 11.
Three singles and a double for Turner last evening. And that's outside. Looks like he's really found a home in Los Angeles. We were remarking last night, with no disrespect to Justin Turner's major league career, he wasn't this kind of player with the Mets. And he launches one toward left. Gomes back. Won't get it. Turner hits a homer to left with 2 outs. I'm shocked it left the ballpark.
I am too. That didn't even sound good, but so much for that spot to go if you need an out.
Yeah, that didn't go so well.
No.
Tried to go fastball in and left it over the middle.
And belt high.
Wishful thinking there for Johnny Gomes. No chance to catch it, and the Dodgers have struck first on a solo home run. Now Adrian Gonzalez bats. Gonzalez had 2 hits last night, including a game-tying 2-run homer in the 5th. And that one is up the middle. Simmons dives, scrambles, and fires. Good play. Gonzalez hit it sharply. It ricocheted off the left side of the mound. That helped Andrelton Simmons. And Alex Wood surrenders a homer for the Dodgers in the top of the 1st inning. Justin Turner. Let's see if the Braves can get even in the first with Jace Peterson leading off the Academy Sports and Outdoors 9. As we told you, a lot of right-handed bats in there with Brett Anderson out there for the Dodgers, Johnny Gomes, Chris Johnson, Ryan Lavarnway, the three principal right-hand hitters tonight. And Peterson skies one out of play, and Anderson's night is underway. Strike one.
Making his 19th start on the year. 5-5 with a 3.17 ERA, coming off a win his last time out against Milwaukee. He went 7 and gave up 3 runs.
%68 of his outs by ground ball outs. That's the best in the major leagues. Both pitchers tonight have induced 14 double plays. Anderson's also got a good pickoff move. He's picked off 6. Fastball 89 to 92.
That's high. 3 balls and a strike. If you're going to get Anderson, the first inning might be a good time to think about early offense. And that's an excellent start. A leadoff walk for Jace Peterson. That's why. Takes him a little while to get on track.
Yeah, get him early. Funny exchange when Bo Porter went to coach third last night. He shook hands with Justin Turner at third base, cleaned off third base. He got over to third base today and he told Turner to go away.
Go away, yeah.
Move away. He went down and shook hands with the third base umpire, John Hirschbeck, instead.
Don't blame him. Turner's 5 for 5 in the series. And here's Cameron Maybin. Cameron had a hit and scored a run in the first on the first homer of the season for the on-deck hitter for the Braves, Nick Markakis. That's a little low. 1 ball, no strikes. The Braves got a scare with Cameron Maybin last night. First inning single. He stole second base and dived in hands first into second base. Jimmy Rollins dropped the knee in front of the bag. It looked like Maybin jammed his left hand into that leg of Jimmy Rollins. He was tugging on the fingers, making sure everything was in working order. He stayed in the game, finished the night 1 for 5. And as hot as he's been, don't want to lose him at the plate, nor do you want to lose his glove in the outfield. Maybin's been a revelation for the Braves since coming over from the Padres.
Yeah, kind of like we were talking about Justin Turner with the Dodgers. Funny how many times new scenery is helpful for guys.
That's taken low. Braves are trying to wait out Anderson here in the first inning.
Well, they're doing a good job of laying off that sinker that's, as we have seen, out of the zone. They're trying to make him get the ball up.
Good hitter's pitch. Instead to first. That's tipped. Full count.
His 6 pickoffs are the most in the major leagues. Julio Teheran, Alex Wood each have 4 for the Braves. They're tied for third.
Would Peterson run? He's not. And Cameron fouled a fastball back. 92 on that pitch.
Well, when this guy's move is as good as it is, the last thing you want to do is get picked off in a good hitter's count. So if you try to avoid that and still go, then you get a late jump. You run the risk of a double play.
Runner holds. Ball hit to short. Flip to second. Bad throw. It's into right field. Everybody's safe. Hernandez trying to make a miraculous sidewinding throw to Howie Kendrick at second base, and he threw it away. And a huge break for the Braves. Second and third, nobody out.
His third error of the year, and we talked last night about how good this ball club is. The Dodgers, the best fielding team in the National League. But Jimmy Rollins taking a night off. So Hernandez is in there, and he throws it away, and the Braves have a chance to not only get that run back on the homer, but take the lead.
That was scored an infield hit and an error.
That was very curious scoring, but good for Cameron.
Yeah, good for Cameron.
So Nick Markakis is the batter. Second and third, nobody out for the Braves. Told you Markakis launched one to straightaway center last night. We were all marveling at how the ball carried. Little dribbler toward first is going to tie the game. Gonzalez with the tag. Runner to third. Peterson scores. It's a 1-1 game. Markakis put it in play, and he's got his 32nd RBI.
Well, it's a good thing that it was as close to the line as it was, because I don't know what happened to Anderson. He kind of stumbled coming off the mound.
Well, he falls off to the third base side as it is anyway, but you're right. He didn't look like his legs got a little heavy on him there trying to get off the mound. Very productive out from Markakis. RBI, moved the guy over.
Chris Johnson bouncing ball to second. He puts it in play, and the Braves have the lead.
Nicely done.
Tell you what, ABC baseball, when it's executed like it was last night and again tonight, it's a beautiful thing to see.
And it just looks so simple when they do it. You know, when they execute it, it's that wasn't hard, but obviously it's easier said than done.
One of the nice things for Chris here is the infield's back. So you say, okay, all I got to do is put it in play. If I can do that to the right side, it's an easy run. This guy's a sinker baller, ground ball out guy. Worked to his advantage. Chris's.
So the first inning issues for Anderson continue tonight, though the issue's not totally of his own making. The shortstop error really helped the Braves cause. Now Uribe, the former Dodger, hits. It's quickly in a 2-strike hole. That was close. He hits 1 and 2. Juan had an RBI hit last night, and that one ripped foul in front of the Braves dugout. He's still alive, a ball and 2 strikes. Popped up. Let's see what the wind does with this. Adrian Gonzalez gives chase over near the tarp. Won't have a play.
Got a foul ball, and it's only the first inning. How many are we going to get tonight?
Way high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pitches piling up for Anderson on this steamy night. And his 22nd is rifled into left center field. And that's going to roll all the way to the fence. Uribe with a 2-out double.
That one was up. Made him get it up a little bit.
Yep, and over the middle of the plate.
So 8 doubles for Uribe. And Johnny Gomes, the batter. Gomes, the 6th man to hit in the inning.
Gomes at 200 with 13 RBIs.
We've talked about this a lot, guys, about how you get some early runs and it helps the offense relax. Last night we talked about it because the Braves scored 7 runs for only the second time since June 14th where they'd scored as many as 7. And it looks like maybe it had a carryover effect tonight.
Braves have scored 5 runs or more twice since June 21st. That's a span of 24 games. A lot of that has to do with the absence of Freddie Freeman. And more on Freddie's situation as the night progresses. A leadoff walk, a shortstop error, a couple of ground balls have given the Braves a 2-1 lead.
Maybe he might get the green light right there.
Would have been a good one.
There's ball 4, second walk of the inning. And Anderson is scuffling mightily. Here's a look at the Dodger defense. They've already helped out the Braves tonight. Hernandez, the throwing error at short. Turner and Gonzalez anchor the infield at third and first on the Dodgers CPI security defense. Van Slyke, Peterson, and Puig is the LA outfield. And Rick Honeycutt out for the first time.
In that start against the Braves in LA, Anderson walked only 2 batters in 7 innings and only gave up 2 runs. He's already done both of those things here in the first inning. He's out of Oklahoma State, played for his dad there. His dad was the head baseball coach at Oklahoma State for a time. He's now the pitching coach at the University of Houston. And Brett was a 2nd-round pick by the Diamondbacks in '06. Got traded to Oakland, then traded to Colorado, and then became a free agent and signed with the Dodgers this winter.
With the 2 superstars at the top of the Dodger rotation, it's pretty easy to overlook the solid numbers that Anderson's turned in this year. And a little dribbler back to the mound. There's a ground ball Anderson needed, and he threw a fastball to first. And that ends the inning. The Braves get 2 runs, 2 hits, 2 walks, and they lead by a run heading to the 2nd inning.
Busy first inning here in Atlanta, one that saw the Braves take the lead. Cameron Maybin get a hit and score a run, and as Chip mentioned, there was a little bit of concern for Cameron after last night. We saw him in the first inning slide head first into second base and seemed to jam those left fingers on his hand, and I talked to him about it today. He showed me his fingers. They are pretty swollen, said he couldn't even get his wedding ring on his left hand. He was in some pain. I said, well, can you hit? And he said, I guess we'll find out. And so far, so good on that front. And then he told me he has played through pain before, including a torn labrum in 2009. His quote to me, "My mama didn't raise a punk."
Okay. All right. Ravens off to a good start. So are the Braves, who lead 2-1 with Scott Van Slyke. Andy Van Slyke's son. And Scott, a good player in his own right. Playing left field tonight. 4 homers, 18 RBIs. He hits lefties well. That's why he's in the lineup. And Wood just missed. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Somehow, some way, that the humidity and the 90-degree temperatures we're having right now, that those whiskers just don't seem to go together with that.
Nope. Lined and caught it short. And Sykes retired, 1 out.
Yeah, if you were playing here all summer long, I'm not sure how long that would last.
Braves have got some guys with a little growth, but nothing like that.
Yasiel Puig is the hitter. Puig was 0 for 4 last night. And that one's hammered deep to left. First pitch. Dome's a leaping try. Can't get it. And Puig is hit a solo homer. And we're tied up again. That was a swing taken in anger. That ball got out of here in a hurry.
I thought it was a no-doubter. Same spot as the pitch to Turner. Middle. Belt high. But the wind really did hold that ball up a little bit.
First homer for Puig since July 9th against the Phillies. And his 3rd home run since returning from the DL for the Dodgers. So it's the Dodgers 2, the Braves 2. Wind blowing in, but already 4 runs tonight. Wouldn't have thought that.
Just like we thought.
Yep. It's Kiki Hernandez, the Dodger shortstop. It's part of that big trade between the Dodgers and the Marlins. Saw Dan Herron move to Miami. Andrew Heaney also came over and was then traded to the Angels. And Hernandez walks on 5 pitches, and after the homer, Wood's got to go back to the stretch with Austin Barnes, the catcher, coming up. Barnes had 2 singles last night and scored a 9th inning run. That run came off Jim Johnson, but Jim got the save for the Braves. And it's off the plate. 1 ball, no strikes. Two members of the Braves starting rotation. The splits have been really head scratching. There's the 1-0 for the catcher. It's off the plate, ball 2. Alex Wood has struggled mightily at home. Julio Teheran has struggled mightily away from home.
Yeah, put their numbers together, home and road. You got good splits for one guy anyway.
Yeah.
We were talking before the game, Tommy. That's kind of hard to understand, that those home numbers.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I don't understand. Like I said, I mean, it's not like this is not a good pitcher's ballpark. You know, sometimes that certainly can factor in, but usually you're going to see a guy struggle on his split. You expect to see it on the road. At least that you can understand a little bit.
For 3-0. Turner and Puig have homered for Los Angeles.
Alex is pretty fidgety on the mound, even on a good day, but he just seems to have a lot of nervous energy working tonight.
Yeah, I think he's not feeling real good about his command and is trying to find something, maybe even trying to force it a little bit.
That's off the plate. He has a long look in at James Hoy. How close was this?
Well, even if it turns out to be a strike here in our PNC Bank Fox tracks, and it was shaving the edges, don't compound your problem by making the umpire mad.
Right, and you know, in fairness to the umpire too. Look, I think every pitch is a strike, but you know, when you're kind of all over the place and then you throw one on the black, hard for the guy to call that.
Again, he's tied for 4th with Anderson in the National League in double plays with 14.
There's the bunt. Wood charges, has only one play, and he lobs it to first, where Jace Peterson covered the bag. That's sacrifice for Anderson. Hernandez to third, Barnes to second, and Jock Peterson is the hitter. Peterson popped out to start the game. Ryan Lavarnway caught it in foul ground down the third base line.
Situation that Alex has found himself in quite a bit this year, where he needs that one last out to get out of an inning. See if he can right the ship a little bit right here, make a pitch, and keep this a 2-2 ball game.
No balls, one strike. Stop Lavarnway, and it's even.
There's the numbers we were talking about. It's two outs, runners in scoring position, 321 average, and that can kill you because you're so close so many times. You're that one pitch away from getting out of an inning, and you can't do it. And then things start to snowball. This is another one of those situations here. It'd be a big boost for him and for his team. Get out of this inning here with a 2-2 tie.
Broke his bat. And the play at first for Chris Johnson, and Wood does get out of it. He gives up the homer to Puig to tie the game, and the Braves are up in the second. 2-2 score. Monitored in-touch system with $1,800 in free equipment, including an exterior camera and touchscreen door lock. Please visit cpisecurity.com. Braves fans, pick any 4 games for the rest of the season and get an exclusive Braves Franchise 4 t-shirt that includes the Braves Franchise 4 representatives Hank Aaron, Chipper Jones, Warren Spahn, and Greg Maddux. Packages start at $48 a seat, so go to braves.com/franchise4 and take advantage of this limited time offer today.
Love that shirt.
Let's go! Let's go, brother!
We're glad you're here.
And a 2-2 game with the Braves coming up in the second. LaVarn Wood and Jace Peterson. And that's low.
Ooh.
Ball 2. Oh,
Okay.
I guess.
Okay.
Sounded like a ball. Ryan's done a nice job. Tom, we've been really impressed with the way LaVarn calls a game, catches a game. For a big man, he's very quiet behind the plate. Here's out number 1. Alex Wood bats, base is empty.
Yeah, it's been a good opportunity for him. Getting a chance to play up here a little bit, have a guy like AJ Pierzynski around you can learn from. He's taking advantage of it.
Night off for AJ tonight. You figure he'll be in the lineup tomorrow. It's a 12 o'clock game time as the Braves and Dodgers wrap up the series. And if you're planning on coming to the ballpark, dress comfortably. It's going to be very hot, very muggy again. Talking with the Dodger people, they are
melting.
Well, melting is one way to put it. Yeah. Swing and a miss by Wood. He's the second out. But they said as hot and muggy as it was here yesterday and again today in Atlanta, this is nothing compared to how bad it was in Washington. 98-degree temperatures, 100+ degree heat indexes. But at least we're blessed with a breeze here in Atlanta tonight. 2 outs. And Peterson the batter. Jace walked and scored in the first. And now 0-2.
I don't remember Anderson working this quickly in LA, but he's a blur even out of the stretch in the first inning.
Yeah, he's not wasting any time.
Last year he pitched in Colorado, made just 8 starts. A broken finger and back surgery wrecked his season with the Rockies, but he's back on the beam with a perfect second inning, including a couple of strikeouts. We go to the 3rd inning. Braves Dodgers tied at 2.
for Freeman Watch. Yes, we have a Freddie Freeman update. And Braves fans, it's news. Chance you will be seeing Freddie Freeman much sooner than you may have thought a few weeks ago. He took his first live BP in over a month before the game today. Said he felt great, told me he was really concerned about feeling soreness in that wrist when he gripped the bat, but he said it felt great. No soreness, close to 100%. He's on his way to Orlando tonight to begin his rehabilitation. Thinks he'll be in Gwinnett on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, and then could join the team in Philadelphia on Thursday if all goes well.
That is great news. Looked like he was taking a full cut too, without trying to baby it.
Yeah, he'll be welcome back with open arms.
Yeah, he's chomping a bit at the bit. Get back in there. He was half-heartedly lobbying John Hart tonight in the clubhouse to get in there today. It'd be interesting, I guess, to see step number one after all those swings today, how he feels tomorrow. So yeah, hopefully all that is good and he's on his way.
Howie Kendrick is the hitter for LA to start the third inning and takes high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kendrick was retired by Jace Peterson at second base. Now Andrelton Simmons will try to take care of the Dodgers' second sacker, and he does. 1 out.
Well, it was pretty obvious last inning, although one of the hitters was the pitcher for the Braves, but that perhaps Brett Anderson had gotten turned around, got it back on the tracks. 3 up and 3 down inning. Now see if Alex can do the same.
Got to get this guy out. Turner's 5 for 5 in the series.
52 at bats. He had 1 extra base hit against a lefty before the homer, and that was a double. And if it sounds like I'm trying to save face on one of the Ford Keys, absolutely.
1 ball, 1 strike. Here's how to show you Justin Turner's first inning homer. We said at the time we were surprised it left the park with the wind blowing straight in from left center field. I mean, it looked like a top spin line drive.
Pitch out over the plate, but like I say, with the wind, it surprised us all that it got out of here.
That's down the right field line and hit it for the seats.
I mentioned last night that his stance and that leg kick are different to me from what I remember about Turner, but he's got real good timing working right now, and he's not missing mistakes. Umpires tell me, like when we talked about bunters that step out of the box and still make contact, they don't call them out. Well, take a look. That overhead shot right there of him deep in the box, as long as his toes touching somewhere on the back line, I'm kind of wondering if he's on the back line.
Yeah. To third. Uribe. Long throw to first. Got him. 2 out.
I mean, I know it's been obliterated. Hard to tell where that line is. But he didn't look like he had any part of his foot touching it.
Well, Turner's an amazing story. The Dodgers signed him as a free agent before last season. He hit .340 for LA. He's a career .281 big league hitter. 7 home runs last year for Turner. He's already got 12 this season. And he was playing so well that Juan Uribe was made available, and the Braves were happy to get him. Gonzalez takes a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Fouled away by Adrian Gonzalez.
Take a look at this, guys. Truck showed us this. Look at his back foot there, and look at the circle his back foot left. And you can draw a line across from the left side of the box to the right. It's hard to think that he's got any contact with it.
Looks like his front foot comes up in the strike zone too when he makes his leg kick. Almost make you want to throw at that foot. See if he can get back to it.
Gonzalez fought it off, and Adrian is still alive.
Well, he's a California guy. Turner is. I think he went to Cal State Fullerton, so he's thrilled to be back in L.A. and his results are proving that.
Fly ball left field. Gomes retreats, slowing on the track. He's got it, and that'll retire the side. The Dodgers are retired in order. Home third coming up. Cameron Maybin will get it started for the Braves. From the ballpark, game 2, Braves and Dodgers tonight. Another nice crowd. 24,000 here last night. And a few more than that, it would appear, in the middle game of the series. It's upstairs. 1 ball, no strikes.
He's thrown that slow curveball first pitch. He just backed it up to at least 2, if not 3 hitters. And if I'm a left-handed hitter, I think I might take a chance and just look for it on the first pitch, 1 at bat.
Tapper toward Hernandez at short. Good play and a strong arm. 1 out. Nick Markakis knocked in his 32nd run, and he's our Georgia lottery hitting the jackpot.
This is among outfielders, and he is in extremely good company.
Very good.
It's like Freddie Gonzalez said after the game last night. He said, I don't care if he hits 1 homer, no homers, or I forgot what he said, 10 or 20 homers. He said the guy's playing well, he's hitting the ball, and that's all I care about.
Leads the team in hits with 101. Has scored 41 runs now. I take that back. He scored 40 runs. He's knocked in 32. He's walked 46 times, a .375 on base percentage. Little pop beyond third. Good hustle. Turner can't get there. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Another part of it, Joe, Nick has said this is a tough year for him in that he really hasn't had an off season.
I don't think we're going to see Nick Markakis at his best until next year. And that's knowing that he's hitting .289 right now and doing what he's doing for the Braves offense. I think you're going to see an improved Nick Markakis last year when he does have that off season and a little bit removed from the surgery.
That ball's headed for the right center field gap, and that's going to get down and roll for a while. Markakis on his way to second. He's going to turn. He's going to go for 3. Kendrick's relay throw late. It's triple for Markakis. So add one more to those times on base for Nick Markakis, his first triple of the season after his first homer came here last night.
Fastball, knee high, a little above the knees and in.
Yeah, crossed up the defense. They had him played around the other way and in the outfield, and huge gap in right center field, and Nick found it.
So now the Dodger infield will come in with 1 out. Johnson hammered one past Gonzalez and down the right field line. Markakis scores. Chris Johnson with an RBI hit, and the Braves are back in front.
I understand why the Dodgers would play in, because this guy gets so many ground balls. You want to try to cut off that go-ahead run. But you're playing again into the hands of Chris Johnson here. There's that slow curve.
Yep.
Made a mistake with it. First pitch swinging, and Chris got him. But the way Chris hits lefties, and he came into the game hitting .340 against him. Infield in, he loves it.
So 3-2 Braves in the 3rd inning. Uribe fouls one to the right side, strike 1. Bouncing ball toward Turner at 3rd. He'll fire to second for 1, and that's all they get. Chris Johnson went in hard at second base to break up Howie Kendrick's thought of a turn to first, and that's the 2nd out of the inning. So 2 are out now, and Johnny Gomes the batter. Gomes walked. Back in the Braves first.
This is just the 2nd multi-RBI game for Chris Johnson this year. His first was the 2nd game of the season in Miami.
Chris, of course, made some news after the game yesterday, where he expressed his desire to be traded. He's not playing enough in his estimation, and that's obviously frustrated him. But a night like tonight, well, if that's what he wants. He's helping himself. A couple of RBIs in his first 2 at-bats. 1-0 pitch.
I would say this: if I'm a team in either league that has another third baseman that's wearing out right-handers, and you need a guy to platoon with, he's your man.
Squibb foul out of play, 2 balls and a strike.
And I'm not saying that Chris can't play every day.
Right.
Right. Right now he can't hear, but he just continues to thrive on left-handed pitching. Somebody's got to pay attention to that.
His base hit to right brought home Nick Markakis, and the Braves have the lead. Now Gomes way ahead in the count. 3 balls and a strike. Trading deadline is 10 days away.
It's going to be interesting.
Slow roller off the pitcher's glove, and then he kicked it into foul ground. So Johnny Gomes is aboard.
I've not seen Brett Anderson pitch that much, so I don't know what kind of athlete he is fielding his position. But watching him stumble off the mound on a ball hit to the right side by Markakis earlier, and this one, he looks like he's not very limber with that back that he had surgery on. He's not bending over too well. Obviously, it hadn't been affecting his pitching because he's been great his last 6 starts.
Yeah, he's feeling something out there right now.
He keeps tapping his left toe and is wiggling his left leg back and forth. It is thought that as the trade deadline approaches, the Dodgers are one of many big league teams looking for starting pitching at the trade deadline. You know how good Kershaw and Greinke are. Brandon Beachy was sent back to AAA today. And if Anderson is injured and misses any time, that really puts the Dodgers behind the 8 ball. They've used 26 different pitchers this year. And as Vince Scully has said so many times on the Dodger broadcast, that's something you don't see from a first place team. And it looks like Anderson's not going to be able to continue.
Favoring his left side, his left leg.
So Anderson departs, trying to field a Johnny Gomes infield single, and the Dodgers have to go to their bullpen down 3-2. This year, despite that fact, they have the 3rd best ERA in Major League Baseball at 3.32. But Brett Anderson hurt himself trying to field an infield chopper. He had to leave the game, and Don Mattingly goes to his bullpen.
Yeah, right there it looked like he
on the pivot.
Yeah, tweaked his hip maybe a little bit or something. Or I hope it's not his back.
Me too.
Been through enough there.
Yeah. But he obviously was not able to bend over and get that ball. Not limber at all on that. It looked like to me on that first replay that it was like on the pivot to go after it.
Yeah.
So this is Chin-Wei Tsao, who will come on in relief. He'll have as much time as he needs to get loose for Los Angeles. And again, guys, you can't state it more simply than the old baseball saw. Just when you think you have enough pitching, go out and get more. Dodgers thought they were in very good shape at the start of the season with the top 3 of Clayton Kershaw, Zach Greinke, and Hyun-Jin Ryu. He was out with a bad shoulder. Anderson is left with an injury of some sort. And word was that the Dodgers had scouts out looking at Cole Hamels the other day. They have the players. They have unlimited financial resources, Tommy, to get whoever they want. But you got to like their 1-2 punch. But after that, boy, that's a big question mark for this team.
It's a huge question mark for this team. And, you know, for a team with such a high payroll, you'd be hard pressed to think they needed any pieces. But they do. They need another starter. No question about it. I'm not saying you can't do it with 2 guys. But, man, is it tough to get through 3 rounds of the playoffs with 2 horses. You really need a reliable 3rd guy there somewhere along, at a minimum somewhere along the line.
Sure. And as we said, Brandon Beachy was just sent back down. He said the elbow's fine. He said there's no problems mechanically, but he's not Brandon Beachy yet.
No, and you wouldn't expect him to. I mean, who knows how long that's going to take? I mean, there's a progression all along the way. The first step, obviously, is to go through your throwing program. Your next step is to get into rehab starts, and then, you know, then you got to prove it to yourself at the big league level too. So I mean, there's a lot of steps to the process for Brandon. The most important thing is that he feels good physically. So sending him down to AAA gets him to where he's a little bit more comfortable and a little bit more able to repeat his pitches. Get him back here, then great. But most importantly, he says he feels good, and that's good news.
This guy's got an interesting note on him. He just got called up on July 8th, and then he picked up a win for his first win since 2005 when he was with Colorado against the Braves. And according to the Elias Sports Bureau, the 10 years and 60 days between wins is the longest time between wins in the big league since Johnny Lindell from July of 1942 to May of 1953. 10 years.
How does that happen?
Between big league wins.
That's some perseverance.
Woo. His big league debut came in July of 2003. Struck out Richie Sexson for his first big league strikeout. Remember Big Richie?
Oh, yeah.
And Sal's still loosening up on a warm night. And he will pitch with a couple runners on and 2 men out. Now it's time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag SouthDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast that's brought to you by our friends at T-Mobile. So where do you guys think Cole Hamels is going to end up? Will he stay a Philly? Are the Dodgers going to get him? Are the Cardinals going to get him? Man, that's been
yeah,
as long a soap opera as Days of Our Lives.
I think he's going to end up somewhere. I think he's out of Philadelphia. You know, and look, if teams have the prospects to give up for him, in today's game, in today's market, you're getting a bargain for what he has left on his contract. You're getting a bargain.
I think the Phillies will wait till the last second and find out who's got the best offer, because they're going to make sure that they pick up the least amount of money they can while getting the best prospects they can. And they'll want some major league ready players too.
You know that. The question I have for the two of you, how would you estimate the starting pitching market at the trade deadline? You've got Cueto out there. You've got Leake out there potentially. Cole Hamels, quite obviously. It's said in Detroit David Price might be on the market. So there are a lot of premium starting pitchers that are available. If you wait like the Phillies, might you miss the best deal if you're Ruben Amaro and company?
I don't know. I still think Cole is the blue chip in all of that.
Too.
I think he's the best of the group. And again, you know, his contract status in today's market would be pretty attractive, I would think, to teams that can go out and get him.
Plus you'll get him for a couple more years, versus a David Price who could become a free agent, as I understand it.
Correct. And Cueto too.
And that's why I'm saying, I guarantee you, if Price, I shouldn't say I guarantee you, but I feel pretty confident if Price and Cueto end up on the market at the end of the year, the length and numbers in their contract are going to be more than what's owed to Cole Hamels for the rest of his contract.
Right. So you believe he's a relative bargain, if you can use that term in today's economic game?
Absolutely, I do. Yes, I do. Because even still, I think he's got, what, 4 years? 4 years left on his deal?
I don't know if it's that.
It may not be that many.
Maybe 3.5.
There might be some options in there too.
Right.
So you know, most of these starting pitchers nowadays, they're going out there getting 5-year deals. You know, and obviously, money aside, that's a little bit more risky than a 3 or 4 year deal.
So it's going to be very interesting to see who joins Clayton Kershaw and Zach Greinke, if anyone, for the first place Dodgers, who do have the benefit of leading the West. But it's a slim lead of 3.5 games over the San Francisco Giants. So Sal is ready to go. So's Andrelton Simmons. Braves have 2 men on, 2 men out, and a 3-2 lead in the home third. And a funny swing has Simmons behind. Strike one.
10-minute delay. Sal is low to mid 90s with his fastball, slider, and a change.
High and tight, even count. 1 ball, 1 strike. Braves start play tonight, 7 games behind the Nationals. Washington is hosting the Mets tonight. New York leads 1-0. That game's in the top of the 5th at Nationals Park. Mets were blown out yesterday after their 18-inning game in St. Louis. And Mike Vaccaro for the New York Post had a unbelievably apt description for the New York offense. Did you hear what he called them?
No.
Murmurers Row. Because the Mets offensive woes. And Simmons off stride, pops it into center. Jock Peterson is there. And he's got it, and that'll retire the side. Atlanta breaks through. Nick Markakis with a triple, scores the go-ahead run, and we're off to the 4th. Braves have taken a 3-2 lead.
Dodgers with solo homers in the first and second inning from Turner and Puig. Braves with just infield outs in the first inning from Markakis and Johnson. Did the right thing, got the guys in from second and third, and then after the triple, Chris with another RBI.
So we're through 3. And it's Freddie Huggs bobblehead night tonight. And join us for John Smoltz Hall of Fame bobblehead night Friday, August 14th, when Paul Goldschmidt and the Diamondbacks come to town. That bobblehead presented by Coca-Cola and Delta Airlines. The first 20,000 fans will get a bobblehead featuring the soon-to-be Baseball Hall of Famer. Get your tickets today by visiting Braves.com.
I hope John's able. I mean, he's been working so much. I hope he's able to be here for alumni weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, because I know how much he loves popping up in the softball game. He's probably been out in the backyard working on that slow pitch.
You know he has.
I mean, he was a one-man wrecking crew the last time he played. He was jumping over the outfield fence, hitting homers, waving the cap. I mean,
Probably why he had to get his shoulder fixed, because he was patting himself on the back so much that weekend.
2 balls and a strike for Scott Van Slyke. Come on, Alex, got a lead, 3-1.
Yeah.
Well, this is where you got to keep an eye on that injury delay. See what effect it had, if any, on Alex.
Leadoff walk, 3rd walk of the game.
I don't know if he took the opportunity at all to sneak out of the dugout and go up in the tunnel and throw a little bit during that whole thing, but we'll see. Did you guys appreciate the text we got from Schmaltzy today about the rain? Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
Bouncing ball foul by Puig, strike 1.
Part that fascinated me the most was when he said he thought we were playing a day game today.
Yeah, woke up from a nap and the game was on and warned us that we were going to have a rain delay down here, and then realized he was watching the replay of last night's game.
Do you think they modeled Nuke LaLoosh after him?
Oh.
Don't think, just throw. Bless his heart. Swing and a miss by Puig. It's 0-2. All of us with the Braves and Fox Sports thrilled for John and his family. Can't wait to hear his induction speech this weekend. What was worse, Tommy, anticipating it or making?
Anticipating it. Once I got it, once they called me my name and I got my plaque and it was time to give the speech, it was almost like, all right, let's go. But leading up to that, it's kind of like the anticipating of going out there to pitch for a big game.
1-2 count and high. 2-2.
We saw a picture of that upcoming Smoltz bobblehead. I think it would have been unique, maybe the first of its kind, if they'd had a stop, drop, and roll bobblehead where his arms and legs all bobbled.
Exactly.
That would be awesome. Puig laid off. From a pitcher's count now to a full count. Alex is not himself yet tonight. Both Dodger runs have come on homers.
Yeah, it's like we said, his good games have been really good. His losses not so good, but these are the kinds of games at this stage of his career he's got to figure something out and make adjustments and be able to continue to pitch even though he doesn't have his great stuff. You know, sometimes, I mean, I say it all the time, there's usually, you go out there 5 times, 4 times, there's something missing. 1 out of 5, everything's in line. So tonight it seems to me that, you know, not stuff, it's more command that's a little bit of an issue tonight. So got to find a way to make that work.
That's in the air towards center, but playable for Maben. And Puig's the first out. Van Slyke back to first for Kiki Hernandez.
I think LaBarnway's doing a good job right now of kind of steering Alex in the right direction on pitch calling, because that was a changeup. It wasn't his best changeup, but it was a 3-2 off speed that had him fooled.
Yeah, and a 3-2 count, you know, a lot of times it doesn't have to be your best one, and got away with it a little bit.
0-1 to the Dodgers shortstop. Hammered into center. That's the 3rd Dodger hit. And Van Slyke stops at second base. 2 on, 1 out. And the Los Angeles catcher Barnes is coming up.
Watch this, guys. This is pretty cool. Watch the ball, breaking ball from left to right. And then when he hits it, the ball came off going left to right, slicing up the middle.
Barnes was called up from AAA when A.J. Ellis complained of some tightness in his knee.
Watch this again in real speed. It's like whatever spin was on the ball that Alex threw came off the bat the same way.
Ground ball towards second. Might turn two. There's one. Simmons got rid of it quick. And Chris held the bag. Double play. Just what the doctor ordered. A magnificent 4-6-3 double play. And Wood pitches around a leadoff walk. Atlanta holds the lead 3-2. We head to the home fourth. In the 50-year celebration of Braves baseball in Atlanta. Remember this one, Tommy?
Oh my gosh. Seriously? How many times are we going to look at this one?
Hand play. Oh my goodness. How in the world did he get Tom Glavine there? That looked like a sure hit.
How old is he again?
Wow.
What were you thinking when you walked back to
look at that.
I did. I asked Hojo, I said, who made that play? And he said Smoltz, and I was like, oh my God. Little did I know that I was going to see it for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Well, we promise we'll show the stop, drop, and roll at some point in the series, just to make things fair. Brian LeVarway leads off. Chinwei Sao, the second Dodger pitcher. Brett Anderson left with an injury in the Braves' third. Sao works out of the stretch and missed with a good live fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ranger pitching coach Rick Honeycutt looks on. And it's a few innings from Sao tonight. And that's off the plate, 2-1.
I don't know where this guy's been last couple of years. I don't know where he's pitched because they only have some notes on him since 2009. I mean, it ends at 2009. And he was pitching in the Chinese Professional League in 2009 for the Brother Elephants in the CPBL. Last American professional leagues was he was with Omaha in 2008. Another fascinating note is born in Taiwan, lives now in Greeley, Colorado.
Huh. 3 balls, 2 strikes for Lavarnway. The pitch is out of play, foul. Another full count pitch for Ryan Lavarnway is popped up. And a collision with Justin Turner, but Barnes held on. 1 out.
Well, that's the last thing you want to see is, and we could hear Turner calling for it all the way up here.
Yeah.
And Barnes didn't get out of the way, and you don't want your third baseman, who's hitting $1 million right now, get knocked out of a game because your rookie catcher didn't get out of the way.
Yeah, he's lucky he caught that helmet to the elbow and not to the jaw.
Yeah.
But that's where the pitcher's got to be directing traffic to.
Yes.
Alex Wood struck out his first time up. And is batting 156 for the year. Ball 1. When Sal pitched on July 10th, he became the 18th Dodger pitcher to work in relief this year. We talked about that in our opening comments last night. Braves and Dodgers are in very different places organizationally right now, but they are very similar in the number of players and pitchers specifically they've used this year. That's an high strike, 2-1. Braves are up to Chan, is it 30 or 31 pitchers? I think it was 31.
I can see it for the Braves,
right,
being where they are in a kind of a transitional type year, but it's surprising for the Dodgers.
And Chan Hartzog tells us it's 30 pitchers.
Attaboy, Chan.
Braves. Alex took a strike. It's a full count. That's out of play right side. Bulldog fan caught a foul ball from the former Bulldog, Alex Wood.
It's only right.
And Sal walked the pitcher. So 1 on, 1 out. Jace Peterson will be the batter. Let's see if Jace can get Sal to flop around on the infield grass. I'm begging for the old stop, drop, and roll play here.
I appreciate it.
1 on, 1 out. And it's out of play. And here it is. The infamous. This is the bobblehead Joe's begging.
Yeah, I think it'd be a great one. Oh, so close.
One of the greatest of all time.
Could just have him on his back, you know, like lunging. but everything's moving. His arms, his legs are all bobbling.
Like a slinky?
Yeah, kind of.
Just laying there on his knees thinking this isn't nearly as good as the play I made against Glau.
No balls, 2 strikes. I mean, as you look at the end of that replay, when John gets to his knees, I'm not sure if he's in shock or if he's about to be car sick.
No, he told us that he was hurt. I mean, it really hurt as hard as he hit the ground.
1 ball, 2 strikes. A deliberately paced game tonight. The pitch is off the plate. 2-2. Well, the return of Chin-Wei Sao to the Dodgers did not come without a little bit of controversy. The Dodgers signed this man over the objection of Taiwan's top professional league. As Peterson didn't get it, he's out number 2. The Chinese Professional League banned Sao 5 years ago amid allegations of game fixing. After Sao launched a comeback and signed with an Australian team last November, the Chinese Professional Baseball League pressured the Australian League into honoring the ban, and Sao was not allowed to play. Major League Baseball did its own investigation of Sao several years ago and found no proof that he fixed games. And after initial reports of the Dodgers' interest in the right-hander, the Chinese Pro Baseball League asked Major League Baseball to honor its ban. Baseball declined, and so here Sao is back in the major leagues. A little research on him. While he was banned, he became a restaurateur. Owned a couple of restaurants in Taiwan. He is a very historic player in our game. He was the first Taiwanese pitcher in Major League Baseball history. No balls, 2 strikes for Cameron Maybin. Out of play, and Maybin's still alive. See how Cameron's hand holds up after the game tonight. Swollen and sore after that slide last night, and Sao struck him out, sends our game to inning number 5. The Dodger pitcher is scheduled to lead things off. The Braves maintain a lead.
The Georgia Lottery, and Pixels in theaters July 24th.
Country superstar and Georgia native Billy Currington will perform after the game Thursday, August 6th for a free post-game concert presented by Coca-Cola and Delta Airlines. VIP field and backstage passes are available now. Get your tickets now at braves.com/concerts. Big shout out to our great crew tonight here in Atlanta. It's turned out to be a pretty night for baseball. Gary Lehman is our director. Gary does a great job getting all the shots for us.
Yeah, good to have Gary back in the director chair.
Very good to have Gary back.
And Gretchen Caney is our producer tonight. First pitch swing by Sal. Drives Maben back, and that's going to bounce over the center field fence. Sal about that. A leadoff double by the Dodger pitcher.
That's what you call an ambush right there.
I'd say. Swing hard in case you hit it, and he did.
So he helps himself. He represents the tying run. And now Alex goes back through the top of the order here. Jock Peterson hitless tonight. He's popped out and bounced out. And backed away from that pitch inside. 1 ball, no strikes.
Third career major league hit for Sal. Second double.
There's a strike.
Alex has picked up a slide step fastball that's been effective for him. I don't know if that's something he learned from Jason Grilli or one of the other guys, but not something I remember seeing him use last season.
Peterson didn't get it. First base hit for Chinwe Sao since August 23rd of 2003 against the Braves. Amazing. Wood's got Peterson set up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And he just broke his bat. Chris Johnson. Wood got a late break, but beat Peterson to the bag. Productive out. Sao to third. And there's out number 1.
Second time he's broken his bat. But at least he got the runner over to third for the Dodgers. And again, it was that slide step fastball kind of snuck in on Peterson.
And that brings up Howie Kendrick. He's grounded out to second. He's grounded out to short. Let's see how the Braves played here with 1 out. Kendrick's been one of the most reliable Dodger hitters this year. A .370 average with runners in scoring position. Upstairs, ball 2.
PNC Bank Fox Tracks, high target, delivered upstairs and out of the zone. And another 2-0 count.
Yeah. I don't understand the purpose of that pitch. Yeah, I can see it going for a strikeout, but when
yeah,
1-0 in the count, unless you're trying to maybe set up a changeup down and away or a sinker down and away, I don't know.
Bouncing ball foul at third.
Gave him a green light. 3-0.
Don Mattingly's Dodgers have a slim lead out west. Trying to hold off the Giants. And a line drive to right's going to tie the game. So Howie Kendrick comes up with a game-tying hit. Sal scores from third, and we're knotted again. This time 3-3 your score.
This is why Howie Kendrick has a great reputation, and why batting second in the order, he's such a tough out. Change up, and he was going the other way with it on a 3-1 count. He wasn't trying to do too much.
I have not seen him play live, but I'll tell you what, watching him for 2 games now, I like him. He's a good player. I like how he goes about it, and he's got a good number.
I knew you'd notice that.
One ball, no strikes. And a shot to short. Should be 2. And it is. Wood surrenders. A single run to the Dodgers in the 5th inning. Chin-Wei Sao has a double and a run scored in relief tonight. 3-3 game.
Great stuff, low price every day.
Tie ball game yet again in Atlanta. Nick Markakis set to lead off this inning for the Braves, and we saw him hit his first home run of the season last night. Had a triple already earlier tonight, and you know what, fellas? The secret might just be the bat. Turns out that I think, Joe, you mentioned this last night, that he was looking at some different bats. Well, this was a bat that apparently he had used this kind of bat before, so he brought it out for the first time before that home run last night. I think he should probably stick with it. That was Cameron Maben's advice when I talked to him about it earlier today.
Oh, you're talking about, Jen, if a guy hits a homer, he's not changing bats, boy.
No. So Wonder Boy? Was that the name of the bat in the natural?
Sure was.
Wonder Boy.
Well, all Nick needs is a single to complete the cycle in the series. Homered and doubled last night. He's tripled and scored today. Chin-Wei Sao with a double and a run scored helped tie the game at 3. Hits are even at 5 apiece. And a ball upstairs. 1 ball, no strikes.
Nick is now 7 for 16 against the Dodgers this year. 7 for 16, 3 doubles, a triple, and a homer.
And he's got the base hit.
What, the ball is jumping off that bat.
And he's going to try to take second, and he's going to elude the slide. He's going to get back. It's a single and error on Jock Peterson. And the go-ahead run in scoring position in the form of Nick Markakis.
Kiki Hernandez immediately signaled to the Dodger dugout that he wanted Mattingly to take a look at this, but I think he's out of luck. No tag there. Nick slides off, but got his finger on the bag. I don't know how much closer you can look at it than what John Tumpane is doing out there.
Mattingly still awaiting the verdict from the Dodger dugout. And he is going to ask to review the play at second. The call at second was that Markakis was back safely by a fingernail. We'll see if there's enough evidence, clear and convincing evidence, to change the call.
Clear and convincing is going to be the hard part. That looked awful close, too close to tell.
I mean, look at, we're watching a replay on the big screen, and Tumpane, look at him. He's standing right there looking over the top of it. He is safe. Great camera work there. Good work by Gary and the boys.
If Markakis is ruled safe, the Dodgers will lose their challenge, and the Braves will have the lead run in scoring position. I mean, that is as close as you can be. I mean,
you cannot get any closer than that. But I think he got his fingertip on the bag.
Yep. So the call stands, or is confirmed. Don Mattingly, why not take a chance? And the outfielder error is the third for Jock Peterson. And we'll see if the Braves can do here in the fifth what they did in the early innings tonight. ABC baseball to give them a 2-1 lead after one. Chris Johnson had a hand in that. Ground out to second. Scored the second run.
Yeah, just did it for the third time. Exactly what you've done the first two.
Play Pepper with the right side of the infield.
Just because it's a right-handed pitcher shouldn't make any difference.
Shot that way and skied it foul. Strike one.
Chris has seen 3 pitches tonight. He swung at all 3. 2 RBIs on those swings before that one.
Well, he's swung at the second pitch too, and he's got a base hit to left. Braves runners are at the corners with nobody out. And you know what they say, Joe? You can't walk out of DeLand, Florida. In Stetson University.
Right. Came down and in. You can't pitch Chris down and in.
No.
Just because he can go to right field so well on lefties, if you think you can go back in on him down, forget it.
Uribe will try to deliver some punishment to his former team. Uribe has doubled and reached on a force play. And the Dodger bullpen gets busy once again.
Pedro Baez.
Two on, nobody out.
Trying to buy a little time here, I think. Yep.
And now Don Mattingly will make the slow walk out to the center of the diamond and go get Chin Wei Sao. He pitched an inning and a third. He gave up a couple of hits and a walk. Game on the bases for the Braves. Mattingly still talking. Let's see if he's going to stick with his hurler or make a change. Hang on a minute. And now he is going to make the change. Pedro Baez is going to come on and pitch. Mattingly expertly bought a little extra time for his relief pitcher. We'll tell you about Pedro Baez when we come right back.
Special bobblehead, the Freddie Freeman Hugs bobblehead. Now, you know Freddie Freeman is a hugger. But what about the other guy in the bobblehead, Johnny Gomes? I asked him about that.
I can hug, you know. I try and have all angles covered. I don't know if I'm a big hug in front of everyone guy. I think there's some people chosen not to hug. But with that being said, I would hug Freddie Freeman any day of the week.
Johnny Gomes was pretty funny. I also asked him how on earth he got to be the one on the bobblehead with Freddie, and he said, you know what? I wasn't in that meeting, but I'll take it. Anytime you're in a bobblehead, it's special. And who knows? Freddie Freeman told me earlier today that because of that bobblehead, Gomes, who stands on deck right now, was his pick to click tonight.
All right, we'll see how it works out, Jen. Thanks. Great report. And new pitcher on the mound for the Dodgers is Pedro Baez, a converted third baseman.
Check it out. 23 innings, 31 strikeouts. Throws hard, mid to upper 90s with a hard slider. And they need a strikeout.
And he missed inside Uribe. 1 ball, no strikes. Baez was converted from third base to the mound in 2012. That despite appearing in consecutive XM All-Star Futures games in 2009 and 10 as an infielder. Swing and a miss. At one point, he was the Dodgers' 8th overall prospect by Baseball America, and that again was as a third baseman. I've heard of catchers being converted to pitcher, but not too often do you hear about a third baseman making the transition.
No, that's not the norm. Shortstop's over third baseman too.
Broken bat pop, shallow center. Peterson coming on, sliding try, can't get it. And everybody's safe. A run is in. Marquez scores, and the Braves are back in front. Uribe with a blue pin.
The Braves got burned on pop-ups like this time and again in Colorado, and they're beginning to get a few to even out. There's that hard slider, and hit it right off the end of the bat.
They caught a break too, where it fell in and had nobody to cover second base, so they couldn't get the force out at second with Chris Johnson. Baez had to back up home, anticipating if he was going to catch that ball, it was going to be a throw to the plate.
You know what? The way Kendrick and Hernandez went out there, if there's a point where you realize you're not going to catch the ball, clear out. I think Peterson went to the slide and was a little tentative on his reach because he wasn't sure where those other two guys were.
So Johnny Gomes with 2 on, nobody out. Chance for a big inning. And low, ball 1.
Well, if Freddie Freeman picked him to be his pick to click, Johnny could do a lot of clicking right here.
The run across belongs to Sal. And a 1-0 count for Gomes. Speared by the pitcher. The throw back to second is in time. What a play. A 1-4 double play on a rope off the bat of Johnny Gomes.
That was made by a player that looked like he was playing in on the grass at third base and caught a line drive. Like he's seen it before. Nice reactions.
Yeah, if that wasn't hit so hard and those middle infielders had a little more time to get to the bag, that could have been a triple play.
You bet. Instead, it's Uribe at first now with 2 outs. Johnson doubled up at second. And Andrelton Simmons takes outside ball 1. A run on 3 hits for the Braves in the 5th. Atlanta 4, Los Angeles 3. To right. And Puig gets there. And that ends the inning. A run on 3 hits. We go to the 6th inning. Braves are back in front.
Was presented by your Atlanta area Mazda dealers. Driving matters.
Hey, fellas, we're through 5 already in Atlanta tonight. It's a 4-3 score. Here's how we've gotten to this point. Our CPI Security game summary.
It's been a fun game to watch. Good game. Markakis still wearing out the Los Angeles Dodgers. Chris Johnson getting a start against a left-handed pitcher, and he's already got 2 RBIs. Justin Turner, you can go on to New York if you want to. Head of the team.
Alex Wood could use an easy inning.
Yeah, for sure. The third time they've given him the lead. See if he can make it stand now.
First pitch, Peterson can't get it. Adrian Gonzalez, the leadoff single.
Gonzalez has one of those swings that you hear people talking about where the bat stays in the zone a long time. The plane of his swing always seems to be on top of the baseball, but it just slices through the strike zone for so long.
Yeah.
There's a real good possibility of an intersection there.
Folks might forget the great baseball pedigree of Adrian Gonzalez. He was the first overall pick in the first round of the 2000 draft by the Marlins. And then in 2003, with Jack McKeon at the helm of that Florida ball club, they needed a relief pitcher, and they traded Adrian Gonzalez to Texas for Ugeth Urbina.
It was a good trade at the time for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, they won it all that year.
How many years has he been playing now?
Let's see. Adrian's first in the big leagues. First got to the big leagues in 2004. He was in the big leagues to stay in 2006 with San Diego. He's at 20 or more homers in 8 of the last 9 years. And Wood just can't stand prosperity tonight. A walk after the leadoff single, and that brings up Puig. And now a visit with Roger McDowell. Bullpen busy for Atlanta.
There just hasn't been too much tonight for Alex. It's free and easy.
No, he he looks like he's struggling a little bit mechanically, repeating the delivery, therefore the struggles with command. And then it looks like, when every time he gets the lead, you kind of go out there and you're pitching and you're prevent defense. You're trying not to mess it up. You're trying not to give it back, trying not to lose the game, instead of having that attack mode where you're pitching to win the game, not to try and not lose the game.
And that's why he's been to so many 2-0 counts, if not 3-0 or 3-1 counts, because of that.
Let's see what the Braves do with Yasiel Puig. 0-1. Puig homered back in the second. His first look at Alex Wood tonight. He's also flied out to center. Bit tardy. 1 ball, 1 strike.
This guy looks big at home. He is. Need to update the scoreboard credentials for this guy. Their media guide has him at 6'2", 255, and he is a rock.
Popped up. Markakis is there, and that's the first out.
Big out. He's had double plays turned behind him the last 2 innings. Maybe he can make it 3 in a row.
KK Hernandez has walked and singled. Taken low. One ball, no strikes.
That to me is the pitch that he's struggling with more than anything. Trying to go down and away with his fastball and just repeatedly is just pulling that pitch and missing over the middle of the plate.
Fouled at the plate. Gonzalez and Van Slyke are the Dodger base runners. Atlanta clings to a one-run lead. Alex a strike away from retiring the Dodger shortstop.
Got away with one there.
Ooh, did he ever?
Hernandez out of Puerto Rico. Seen big league time with the Astros and the Marlins. Originally a 6th round pick in 2009. Strike 3 called. Got it. Hernandez couldn't pull the trigger. Out number 2.
That's that pitch I was talking about earlier, Tom.
Yep.
That slide step fastball. It almost seems to catch the hitters off guard.
Yeah, he changes his tempo a little bit. Now the key for him moving forward with that though is he's going to have to start throwing his other pitches out of slide step too.
Now he's got the catcher Barnes up there, who's walked and hit into a double play. And he's ahead of him. Strike 1. Wood's spot is due second in this 6th inning.
It was his first strikeout of the night.
4 walks, 6 hits, but he leads where it counts, 4-3. One and one. Jimmy Rollins and Howie Kendrick looking on in the visitors' dugout here in Atlanta. 1 ball, 1 strike. Way held it there, didn't get the call.
Yeah, the way things are with their catching core, the Dodgers may be looking for a starting pitcher and a catcher.
Good point. Ellis with the sore knee. Grandal with that foul ball to the jaw in their last game in Washington. Grandal pinch hit yesterday but hasn't caught yet in the series. Fly ball foul. It is a full count now. This time of year is one that is filled with such anticipation for fans of every major league team. Either hope for the future or getting guys that can maybe get you the World Series. It's not always the case for the players. This is a very uncertain and emotional time for them. Three and 2. He got him. Alex Wood was in a big mess. First and second, nobody out. And he picked a great time to pick up his first 2 strikeouts of the night. LA strands a pair in the top of the 6th inning. Braves maintain the lead. It's 4-3. for the Freddie Freeman bobblehead night, and they didn't come from Alpharetta. They came all the way from Arizona. That's Cindy Wolf and her granddaughter Annalise, who are here in Turner Field just for the Freddie Freeman Johnny Gomes bobblehead doll tonight.
Near and far.
That's some dedication there.
Told Cindy's been a Braves fan since 1979 that Freddie Freeman and Dale Murphy are her favorite Braves.
Love that smile.
So she is raising her granddaughter right. Great to have him here tonight. A little more humid in Atlanta than Arizona this time of year, I would think. Hope they're enjoying the ball game. Braves lead it. We're in the home sixth. 4-3 your score. LaVarn Way. Alex Woods on deck. And then Jace Peterson. One ball, one strike. Nice pitch from Baez. A ball and two strikes.
Chip, were this guy's numbers pretty good as a third baseman? I mean, if he was playing in the futures game, I would suspect he was putting up some pretty good offensive numbers. Typically, they will give you his hitting record.
Yeah, career minor league hitting numbers: a .248 average, 45 homers in 507 games. 1-2 pitch. He is out of play.
I mean, it's obvious he's got a great arm.
Didn't strike out a lot. Never struck out more than 84 times in any minor league season.
What was his best year?
Let's see. For the Inland Empire team in 2009, 286, 10 homers, 61 RBIs.
Yeah, it's a Cal League. That's a very good year.
Is it?
And they must have just thought, you know, as his arm got better and better, I have to think they've got their eyes on him as a potential closer.
Could be. I mean, and the arm thing is an interesting point. Baseball America mentioned their rankings of him overall in their organization. 8th best prospect, best infield arm of any player in their organization consistently.
I believe it.
Yeah, based on what you see on the bump, I would think so.
One ball, two strikes. And that's hit high in the air, deep toward right. Puig's not going to get that ball. It's off the fence. LaVarn Way's going to try for two. Puig has a cannon, and he showed it off. And Hernandez might have been spiked on the collision at second base. It's single, and Puig with the outfield assist erased LaVarn Way at second for the first out.
I want to tell you something, though. LaVarn Way, every start, he hits the ball hard somewhere. That was a high fastball. He got on top of it. And that's about the same direction as where he hit the home run at Coors Field in right center. You're not going to outrun that arm, though. Oh, yeah, boy. That right leg went right into his calf. Right there. Ugh.
So it's a hit. LaVarn Way's out at second, and Alex Wood will bat. 9 hits for the Braves tonight. And a ball low. runs right there, even count. Good news in Washington. The Mets lead the Nationals 3-2 in the bottom of the 8th inning. As Joe mentioned last night, if the Braves take care of their own business, they'll gain ground on someone in the East. Last night we picked up a game on the Mets. Washington beat them 7-2. Tonight it's Jacob deGrom and Joe Ross working in Washington.
Boy, how good did deGrom look in the All-Star game?
Man, oh man.
Yeah.
He's got some electric stuff.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Finally got word on the injury for Brett Anderson, the Dodgers starter, who left after 2 2/3 innings. And it's an injury Braves fans know all too well. Irritation of the Achilles tendon. And he will be reevaluated for Don Mattingly tomorrow.
Yeah, we've seen enough of those this year.
Yeah, and if it was irritated, you got to get him out of there, and they did.
Alex Wood putting up a good fight here. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And he's retired looking. There's out number 2.
Let's take another look at that injury for Brett Anderson and watch his left foot right here as it kind of pivoted when he wanted to break over to get the ball and then kicked it.
It's like he had a bucket on top of his foot, or his foot was inside the bucket trying to run. Hopefully that's not a serious injury. Dodgers already considered shorthanded in the pitching department. Hard to believe. They lost their starter despite Kershaw and Greinke at the top of the rotation. Jace Peterson, the batter. 2 outs, nobody aboard.
This guy's thrown a slider as high as 87 tonight. So it's more than just a good arm. Got a pretty good breaking ball too.
Yeah, that was a slider he just threw there, or a changeup. I don't know.
I thought it was
slider.
Yeah.
Well, there's no doubting what that pitch was. That was a 98-mile-an-hour laser beam.
That was cheese.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, that's a burger.
Chase a couple of strikeouts, but a leadoff walk and a first-inning run for the Braves. And now the 0-2. Back our way. We'll see another one. Tampa Bay leads the Phillies 1-0. That's in the 7th inning. Big night for Philadelphia. Aaron Nola, their top pitching prospect, makes his major league debut tonight.
Out of LSU, right?
Yep. 7th pick in the draft last year. Phillies won yesterday. David Buchanan, the Georgia State alum, his first win in his last 15 outings. Baez more good work. It's the Braves in the 6th. His spot's due first in the 7th. It's a 4-3 game. Drew Jenkins and Gretchen Caney have in store with us on our AT&T Uverse trivia question. Tonight's question is, Jock Peterson has 20 homers this year, his rookie year. Which player hit the most home runs in a rookie season? And I'm assuming that's all time. So it's any player all time who has the most home runs as a rookie in the history of Major League Baseball.
I used to know this answer, but then I think it was broken. It was a rookie record forever, like Larry Doby or Joe Cronin or somebody like that. But I think it's been reset.
Alex Guerrero leads off and skies one toward left center. Maven on the run. Last minute charge got there. I didn't think he had a chance to get to that ball. But a strong kick and a slide got him to the spot, and Guerrero's the first out.
Shading him in right center, too. Those are long strides and more good outfield play.
Boy, what a luxury when you got a center fielder that can cover some ground.
You know all about that, especially guys numbered 25.
So back to the top, and here's Jock Peterson. Boy, he is bailing and wailing, isn't he?
Yep.
Dodgers center fielder 0 for 3. He's also committed an error. And he couldn't stop his swing. It's 0-2. The report on Peterson's pretty simple. He either walks, strikes out, or hits a homer. He has struck out 112 times. He's hit 20 homers. And he's walked 59 times.
It's a quick bat.
One-two pitch. Here's rolled foul. The Dodgers for years were known for their great ability to hype their young players. We've been talking about Jock Peterson for a long time, and with good reason. He had a marvelous year last year in the Pacific Coast League, a 30-30 year for the Dodgers. And here he is halfway through his first big league season. He's on pace to maybe hit 40 homers. Something that man knows a thing or two about. Mark McGwire, the Dodger hitting coach. 2-2. Fouled away.
Trying to go in on him again. They haven't quite buried it in there like they did his last two at bats when they broke his bat on ground balls to first.
His eye level. Now it's full count. Strike three called outside corner. Peterson thought he walked.
PNC Bank says perhaps Alex's last pitch of the night was a gift. He'll take it.
You bet he will. He'll also take a lead to the dugout. Braves bullpen back in play. Got the effort for Alex Wood on a night when he didn't have his A stuff. But it's good enough to earn a 4-3 lead at home into the 7th inning. We'll tell you about the new Braves pitcher after a break.
Go Places, Zaxby's, and Georgia Power.
.107 pitches for Alex Wood tonight. He leaves with the lead. 4-3 is your score. As promised earlier tonight, we have selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to #SouthDataStrongFan for a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast. That's brought to you by our friends at T-Mobile. That is a very excited Braves fan.
And did that say South Dakota? Strong fan?
Didn't see
South
that. South
Data, beg your pardon.
Jason Frazier, veteran reliever, has done good work in his first 2 outings for the Braves.
And one of them was last night. He worked the 7th inning, 1-2-3.
He's got Howie Kendrick up there with the bases empty. 2 outs. First pitch swing and a drive to center. Maben on the run. Got there. Kendrick just missed. 1 pitch from Frazier and a wry smile as he heads to the dugout. He lives to tell the tale, and we stretch. 4-3 your score.
From city to city, and we appreciate all their hard work. Trip in and trip out. Hey, something news out, folks. The official Braves 2015 souvenir program, issue number 2, just came out, available today. John Smoltz, of course, is on the cover and says headed to the Hall of Fame. There's also stories in there about the 50 years of managers for the Braves, the 95 World Series anniversary, and a whole lot more, but like two-page spreads. There's A.J. Brzezinski and a lot of little things, little, I guess, idiosyncrasies you may not know about every guy, but good stuff in there, like favorite off-day activity, golf, fishing, and hunting. And I think A.J. does all 3 on every off day. You can get those at the Braves Clubhouse store or at CNN Center and online at Braves.com/authentics. Good work by Andy Littlefield Presley and her crew.
Joel Peralta's the new Dodger pitcher as we hit the home 7th. Cameron Maben leads off and takes ball 1. Peralta worked in last night's game and was treated rather rudely. An inning, 3 hits, 2 runs. Boy, another run or 2 sure would be nice. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's 1-2. The Mets have extended their lead in Washington. It's 4-2 New York in the top of the 9th inning. Now 1-2 for Cameron. And that one not close. Even count.
Split finger pitch on the last delivery, and he throws a lot of them.
Might see another one right here. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He's chasing Cameron Maybin. Get out of the way. Full count.
That was a split that didn't split.
I think it came out of the high side of that split grip.
Yeah. A little bit of a tumble.
Peralta was a big part of the Tampa Bay Rays bullpen the last 4 years. Didn't realize this, but he led all of Major League Baseball in relief appearances from 2011 through 2014, including the 2013 season. He pitched in 80 games.
Wow.
Only 71 1/3 innings, but still warming up and in 80 games. That's amazing. He's pitched with the Angels, Royals, the Rockies, Nationals, and now after Tampa Bay, the Dodgers.
Smoltz threw a split. Tim Hudson threw a split. I don't know if you play with anybody in New York that might have thrown one, but Smoltz and Hudson in particular, did you ever see them just sitting in the dugout with a ball wedged between their fingers?
Yeah. Try and
stretch it out.
Stretch it out a little bit. Yeah, make it a little bit easier to get that grip. Yeah.
Full count again for Maybin. And out of play. Peralta's from the Dominican Republic. He was a former shortstop as a kid who idolized Tony Fernandez and Pedro Martinez. A man that appreciates everything the big leagues have to offer. Didn't have his own baseball glove until he was 14 years old. Now pitching for the Dodgers. He's pitched a long time, and he finally got Maybin. There's out number 1. Nick Markakis has hit for the cycle in the series. He's homered and doubled last night. He's tripled and singled tonight. 4 runs for Nick in the first 2 games. And he's knocked in 2. A little bit of a shift on for the Dodgers. Hernandez dancing around by the second base bag for a moment. He was almost directly behind the second base. Turner well off the line at third. Outfield plays Nick slightly to pull with Peterson in center field. 1 ball, no strikes. Even count.
Chip, you mentioned those 80 games that Peralta was in 2013. That same year, Luis Avilan of the Braves was in 75. And he's been among the league leaders in appearances again this year, Luis has. And that's one of the reasons the Braves have given him some backup out there in terms of lefty relievers.
1 ball, 2 strikes. It wasn't like Freddie Gonzalez intended to run Luis out there as often as he did, but for a while he was the only left-hander that Atlanta had in relief for 6-8 weeks.
Luis was 5-0 with a 1.52 ERA that year.
One and two for Markakis, and it's served over third, but slicing foul.
Didn't break his bat, did he?
Nah.
Okay.
Wonder Boy still alive.
Quick pitch.
Yeah.
Markakis was ready for it, though. Fought it off. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I like it. I think that's a great move. If you're having a little trouble getting rid of a guy or putting him away, try something different. And Nick spoiled that too.
I wish somebody would do it to Ryan Braun, who gets in the batter's box and just holds his hand up like.
The game will continue when I say
yes. Tried it again. Missed, though. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That was pretty close on our PNC Bank box tracks.
Full count. Chris Johnson, who's had a good night, is waiting on deck.
Peralta learned how to stall in the American League. He's brought it over here.
Strike 3 got him over the outside corner. 2 strikeouts for Peralta, 1 swinging, 1 looking, and now Chris Johnson will try to keep the inning alive.
Well, he didn't get the one on the inside corner, but got that one. It's a good pitch. Sinker down and away. Got Nick looking for something else and couldn't pull the trigger.
Boy, didn't Barnes receive that ball beautifully too? Barely moved a muscle to make the catch. And 2 are out. 2 RBI game for Chris Johnson. He's up to 9 ribbies on the year. Didn't mean to. It's fouled away. Strike 1. Peralta lucky Chris wasn't swinging at that. That was up. Even count. To right. Puig on the run. Still going. Won't get it. That'll bounce into the Braves bullpen. A 3-hit night for Chris Johnson.
That quick pitch didn't work so well.
No, I mean, I same thing. You know, the way he took that slider, the pitch before, I'm just sitting here thinking he's looking fastball. Got a fastball out over the plate. Hammered it.
Good swing, great extension. about a tack-on run right here?
Be huge. 3 3-hit games for Chris Johnson this season. And Uribe will try to bring him home. It's a 4-3 Braves game in the 7th.
One thing Uribe knows for sure now is that he cannot use that quick pitch wind up, stretch wind up.
Runner on base, he's got a pause out of the stretch. A hanger, and Uribe fouled it away. Another good crowd in Atlanta tonight. Brad Hange announces 33,816 the paid attendance. Back our way.
Joe, make the play.
Oh.
I was ready.
You were ready.
I was about to fall into Tom's lap. I was so ready.
And there's Luis Avilan. Here's he'll be ready for the 8th inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And another mound meeting.
As your dad would have said.
At some point, the real estate, you do have to throw the ball.
A lot of deep counts in this game tonight. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And another one here. Peralta screamed for the baseball. Full count.
He had a beef.
Johnny Gomes waits.
4 hitters this inning, 3 full counts. It's as if Juan is saying, you can throw that split, but I'm just going to keep hooking it foul. I'm waiting on the fastball.
Try to spoil that split and make him throw him a fastball for a strike.
Peralta has thrown 27 pitches.
All spaced by 1.5 to 2 minutes.
Just about. Did he go? Nope. 2 on, 2 out.
didn't.
And Don Mattingly very slowly is making his way to the mound.
Got Howell ready in the bullpen. He's trying to talk his way into staying in the game.
He stated his case strongly enough that he will stay in the game. A little discussion from Peralta about what he thought might have been strike 3 to Uribe. I thought I heard him say when the pitch was called ball 3, give me the ball. Frustrated at himself that would make a better pitch. So Johnny Gomes hits 2 on 2 out. After 2 strikeouts, double and a walk. 28 pitches for the Dodger righty in this inning alone. Strike 1. Bell tie and over the corner. 0-2.
Johnny didn't like that call. And with good reason.
Bouncing ball to short. And the throw to first is in time. And after a 30-pitch inning, Peralta sends our game to the 8th. It's still 4-3 Braves. Alumni weekend, Friday, August 7th through the 9th. That's when the Braves take on the Marlins. Join us at Turner Field on Friday for great autograph opportunities. Saturday, the first 20,000 fans who attend get a 1995 World Series replica ring, and you can see John Smoltz try to dominate the 6th annual Legends softball game. For tickets, visit Braves.com/alumni weekend. Luis Avilan is on to pitch. Third hurler of the night for the Braves. Alex Wood, 6 2/3 of 3-run ball. Mason Frazier threw one pitch to get the final out of the 7th. Now it's set up for Avilan in the top of the 8th.
For Luis Avilan, his first game in this series. Pitched in 2 of the games against the Cubs after the break. Perez will bat 9th, I'm guessing, and Avilan will go into Gomes' spot.
Key man of the inning is the man leading off, Justin Turner. He's had a huge series already, 5 hits, including a homer tonight. It came with 2 outs in the first inning. It was in the very windy conditions in the first couple of frames. It has all but died down now. It's a very comfortable, warm night. Turner, Gonzalez, and Van Slyke. Reason why Freddie Gonzalez brought Avilan in this spot is he's much more successful versus right-handed hitters. They're batting only .197 against him, but he's promptly gone 3-0 to Justin Turner with Adrian Gonzalez on deck.
Last pitch looked like it was middle.
Turner thought he was on his way to first.
A lot of complaints lately with James Hoy. Had a little tailing action that took it off the plate. Pitch before, I'm with Tom. That was a good pitch.
Three balls and a strike. It's full.
The good thing for Luis this year has been that his ball's moving again. He's got his sinking action going. And it's especially good. I know his splits don't show it, but it's been a whole lot better down and into lefties.
Yeah, the splits are strange. Another case of a strange set of splits for pitchers. That's just, I don't.
How does that happen?
How do you explain that? I don't know. I mean, I could see, I could explain it a little bit if he relied on a changeup and he couldn't throw that to lefties, but with all the movement he has and velocity, I think he'd be able to bore that thing in on left-handers a little bit more and get it to backdoor on the outside corner to righty or to a lefty, but.
Slow roller out to second. Peterson to his right. And Avilan rallies from a 3-0 count. 1 down. And I think Don Mattingly or Justin Turner were just kicked out of the game.
One of them. And if it was Turner, it's about to be both. Turner must have been saying something on his way back to the dugout, because Hoy walked toward the Dodger dugout as Turner was crossing the third baseline.
Yeah, Turner was looking at him from about just before pitcher's mound as he was coming back across the field. Might even been a little sooner than that.
And if Hoy was looking to find out what he was saying, that's when Mattingly went out to try to protect his player, which he apparently did a good job of doing, but got thrown out in the process when Don was trying to run interference for him.
Turner was not happy with the 3-0 pitch call. And you see James Hoy sticking his finger up saying,
"That's enough."
Enough. Looked him into the dugout. And that's when Don Mattingly came out. So we'll find out officially who was tossed, as Turner's the first out. Here's Adrian Gonzalez. And he hits a slow roller to second. Peterson's got it, and he kicked it. E4.
Slow bouncer, slow runner, and a careless mistake. Probably could have recovered if his feet hadn't gone out from under him.
The Dodgers will take Gonzalez out of the game, and Carl Crawford, who was just activated from the disabled list and a real burner, will run at first base. So what should have been a routine second out turns into the game tying run in the form of Carl Crawford. And now Van Slyke's the batter. He's lined out and walked twice. Ball one. Final in Washington, Mets beat the Nationals. That's 7-2. Tampa Bay beat the Phillies 1-0. I think a home run by the Tampa Bay pitcher is the only run in that game.
Huh. Off Nola?
Off Aaron Nola. Reds lead the Cubs 4-2 in the 8th. Miami and the Diamondbacks scoreless in the desert. That's in the second inning.
Crawford has not played since late April with an oblique strain. Turner's still in the dugout, so it was Mattingly ejected.
Still stating his case.
Tim Wallach will run things.
Van Slyke has an even count.
LaVarnway, drafted and signed by the Red Sox, has a unique way of throwing when base stealers go if Crawford does try it. He hardly, I mean, it's almost like they don't wait for the ball to get there. They're already up and moving towards second base and catch the ball wherever it is in an effort to get a little momentum going to throw to second. I mean, you better be able to reach the pitch if it's,
I guess
it's a little off target.
Be careful with your timing a little bit too. You don't want to get out there too soon and get a catcher's interference.
There was a time when Carl Crawford was good for 40-50 steals a year. I saw him play a game with Tampa Bay against the Red Sox where he stole 6 bases in one game.
I thought he was one of the best players in the game.
Yeah.
And so did the Red Sox, and they gave him a ton of money as a free agent.
Strike 3, late call. Van Slyke's turn to argue. 2 out.
Like a good changeup. Boy, look at that thing drop.
Yep. It's a good pitch.
Yep.
So one more big out to get to protect the lead, and it's Puig digging in.
Ought to be out of the inning.
Chase Peterson's error gives the Dodgers an extra out. Justin Turner thought the Braves were given an extra out. So Puig ready to go. An 82% success rate for Carl Crawford.
Outfield deep, trying to prevent an extra base hit that might score Crawford from first. But with 2 outs, Crawford will be out for the crack of the bat, so you better not hesitate. If the ball does somehow get to the wall, you got to get it in quickly. I don't know, Tom. This is almost one of those spots where with Hernandez on deck and they've got Rollins on the bench, they've got a couple other guys they could go to, but I'd almost be trying to get Puig to get himself out.
Absolutely. Oh my.
Ooh.
Where was this one?
Oh man, Lavarnway did a great job of making that look like a good strike.
I'll try that one again, a little lower, see if he'll chase.
Yep. He's a genius, I say.
Good call.
2 balls and a strike.
And to me, if you're going to throw him a fastball anywhere in this at bat, it cannot be in a position where he can hit it. It's either way inside, pushing him off the plate, or way finishing down and away off the plate.
Ooh. Puig wishes he had that one back. 2-2.
I'll give him another one of those.
No, I wouldn't give him a second shot at it. Got him out earlier tonight. Alex Wood did on a 3-2 changeup.
The 2-2 instead to first.
See what Lavarnway's doing here? It's something real subtle, but it's really smart. He's signaling for him to throw to first. So knowing that he's going to first, he's setting up way inside in case Puig takes a look back. Now that might be setting up something away on a real pitch. Because hitters are known to, when the throw goes to first, kind of take a little peek back, see where the catcher was set up. And Lavarnway may be kind of deking him to let him think that they're going to come in on him.
Yasiel Puig had a pretty good rip at that pitch, fouled it back. And now Uribe maybe offering some tips for Avilan as to what Puig likes to do with a 2-2 count.
Good point.
To me here, you either got to throw a better changeup again, or you got to throw something to get him off of that changeup to throw it 3-2. You know, throw him a fastball in, see if he'll chase, push him off the plate. If you miss, go back to that changeup, or double up on the changeup and throw a better one. Okay, good pitch.
That was his A1 Sunday fastball. He reared back through that as hard as he could, knowing he wasn't trying to throw it for a strike.
So you think he's going down and away here?
I would.
I would too.
Just a question of you're going to try and outsmart him with a fastball or try and beat him with a changeup.
There's your answer. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a rocket hit toward left. Perez got there on the warning track. Puig hit it a ton.
By playing deep.
Avilan escapes the 8th, and the Braves still lead. Changes for the Dodgers. We'll tell you about those in just a moment. Fans, follow the Braves all year this season with MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com at Bat for your smartphone or for your tablet. First, let's get to the Dodger pitcher. It's J.P. Howell, veteran left-hander, on for the 37th time. And look at those microscopic numbers.
I'd say he's having a pretty good year.
Yeah.
High 80s fastball, not overpowering. Outstanding curveball, mighty tough on lefties.
Andre Ethier takes over for Puig in right field. Guessing he's going to hit 9th. Carl Crawford stays in the game to play left. Braves lead by a run, looking for a little insurance with the bottom part of the order coming up. Scott Van Slyke moves to first. Off the plate, even count. Low, ball 2. Outside, a leadoff walk would be nice. Lavarnway is on deck. Yuri Perez will follow him. High hopper. Turner backs up. Makes the throw to first. There's out number 1. Gary Lehman says it's time to answer the trivia question, so here we go. The AT&T Uverse trivia question, you might recall, was Jock Peterson has 20 homers this year. It's his rookie season. Which player hit the most homers in baseball history in a rookie season?
I'm going Mark McGwire.
I was going to go with him too. As soon as I saw him, go with that. I'll go with
double up.
No, I'll go with Canseco. Maybe
that's what I was going to say. I'll say, where's the pitch? I'll say Albert Pujols. And it was Big
Nailed
Mac. 49 of them.
Not a bad year. Wally Berger was the guy I couldn't come up with earlier. He had 38, and so did Frank Robinson in their rookie years. Pujols had 37.
Did he?
In his rookie year. So did Al Rosen.
Pujols was a third baseman when he first came up.
Yeah.
Canseco 33. Mark McGwire's rookie year hit 289, 49 homers, 118 RBIs.
Three balls, no strikes for Ryan Lavarnway, the Braves catcher. And that went in there, 3-1.
How about the most RBIs by a rookie? Any guesses there? Old timer.
What era?
A rare walk from Howell. This would have been the mostly the 40s and 50s. From your neck of the woods.
Ted Williams?
Yep. Not from there, but played for the Red Sox. Ted, 145 RBIs.
Wow.
1939. Thanks, Chan.
Thanks, Chan. Good work.
Here's Yuri Perez. And that's down the right field line, slicing and out of play. There's so many eras in baseball that I would love to be able to time travel to and see. Certainly Ted Williams in that era, late 30s, early 40s, before the war years, all those great players that played. I would have loved to have seen the game during World War II, how different it was. I would have loved to have gone back to the old Pacific Coast League with the San Diego Padres and the San Francisco Seals and the Los Angeles Angels and the Tacoma Rainiers. See what that league was like. No balls, one strike. But I think what would really be fun to go back in time to see when guys like Cy Young pitched and how differently the game was. They could just rock and fire from 50 feet away and rack up all those strikeouts. But much different game now than it is today, of course. No balls, two strikes. In the dirt, Barnes a nice stop. and the old ballparks. Just think of how cool that would have been to see Yankee Stadium as it was first built, or Fenway Park, or Briggs Stadium, which later became Tiger Stadium. One on, one out, 1-2 pitch.
No, Ryan. That was a great effort to try to stretch that ball off the wall into a double, but hang right there for now.
Chop towards short. Got to unload quickly, and he did. Boy, he's got a strong arm, doesn't he?
Sure does.
He beat Perez by a step. KK Hernandez got his man. On way to second. 2 outs for Jace Peterson.
Bases are loaded, Jace. I think I would sit on that hook the first couple of pitches.
Strike one. J.P. Howell's had a nice career. It's his 10th big league season. No swing. He did good work with the Tampa Bay Rays. Saved 17 games for them in 2009. This is his 3rd year with the Dodgers.
Look how shallow Crawford is in left.
He hadn't played perfectly, as it turned out. Back a few steps. And that sends our game to the 9th inning. Bottom part of the order's coming up for the Dodgers. Jim Johnson was loosening. He'll come on and try to save a 1-run game. Atlanta has the lead after 8 innings. Jim Johnson, he is going to come on and pitch. But first, let's check out our Toyota key plays of the game.
Good defense by the Braves tonight. Outstanding play by Andrelton Simmons in the first inning. Key double play turned behind Alex Wood in the 4th. And then how about this catch by Cameron Maben? Covered about a mile, mile and a half, 2 miles.
So Big Jim's on to try to nail it down, looking for his 8th save.
Now, see, soapbox time. 7 out of 10 in saves. Were any of those in the 9th inning? If you get charged with a blown save in the 7th or 8th, come on.
Yeah.
The game's not on the line.
Former Brave Alberto Callaspo will pinch hit. And a good start for Johnson. Strike 1. That just missed. And a soft fly ball to left. Perez has that one. 1 down. Yasmani Grandal will hit for Barnes in the 9th. Grandal had a 9th inning pinch hit last night. Grandal came to the Dodgers with Zach Eflin, Joe Weiland for Matt Kemp.
What a good breaking ball. Beauty. Grandal gave up on it.
So it's quickly 0-2. Not that time. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Last 13 games, the Dodger catcher, 4 homers, 10 RBIs, 9 runs, and 10 walks. With that shot to the jaw Sunday in Washington, all he's been able to do in Atlanta is pinch hit. That's bounced off the plate. Uribe's got it. Throws on the run. Got Grandal. 2 out. So the Dodger All-Star catchers the second out. And Andre Ethier is the final Dodger hope. This guy, though, has always had a flair for the dramatic. He has hit a lot of big late inning home runs in his Dodger career.
A lot of walk-offs for the Dodgers at home. 1 for 3 last night with a single. And power to all fields.
Johnson goes to work. Ball 1.
Yeah, a little ground ball, the second walk-off. That'd be fine.
Sure. Could do it right here, couldn't he?
Look at those numbers in late inning situations for Ethier. Little tapper to short. Simmons charges. Tricky hop. And the Braves have beaten the Dodgers again. Jim Johnson did provide an uneventful 1-2-3 ninth. And the Braves have beaten Los Angeles by a run, 4-3. Your final score. Johnson the save, Alex Wood the win. And a big night tonight for Nick Markakis and Chris Johnson. They accounted for 5 of the Braves' 10 hits. Good night all around in Atlanta. We'll break it down for you after a break.
Hey!